What's going on, everyone? Yes, today is another tour review, and yes, the man that stands in front of you is the one and only Logan, also known as Wolverine. This version of Wolverine is based upon the X-Force comics, and this is made by Mezco Toys. So let's go ahead and jump into this review and see what good old Mezco had to offer with this Wolverine figure. So, as always, let's look at the details, or just look at a full 360 of the character. Now, I must say, Mezco throw their little touch upon the comics version of, their Wolverine, how they feel that Wolverine should look. So some stuff is comic book looking, and some stuff is obviously different due to them. In this case, they did a really good job. I really like the way Wolverine came out. The black works really great with the gunmetal gray, and also the gray itself. If you look at his gloves and boots, you can see nicks, things of that nature on it. It looks really, really good, really nice. Even when it comes down to the eyes, the bloodshot red just works. Like it just has this deep red along with the belt, and it just pops really, really well off that black. They did such a great job on just look as a whole on how good they kind of kept true to some aspects of the comic. Here's a side profile level. You can see the hair on his arms. I'm gonna go ahead and focus that for y'all just so we can make sure y'all see it. There we go. You can see the hair on the arms, like kind of like low markings, which is always good, because to be honest with you, you really don't see that enough on Wolverine. Most time they either forget to add it sometime, or I just feel like they forget to add it, or they put either too much or not enough. And this one is just right. Looks really, really good. So that is the side view. As for the back view, pretty basic in the back, nothing major. I will say he kind of using the same pleather outfit as Daredevil, so his movement is pretty restricted, or any of the other figures that has this pleather leather situation going on. So that's the only downer, but when it comes to look, it looks great. So that is the once over of good old Wolverine. Now, dealing with height wise, Wolverine has to be a little bit past 5.5 inches tall, because here is a Bandai Realization Marvel figure of Spider-Man, and he towers good old Wolverine. Now, Mezco against Mezco, Wolverine is maybe a smidget shorter than another Mezco figure. So, for example, I sized him up next to my Ascending Knight Batman, and for the most part, Batman's slightly taller, but like not towering over him. But you can clearly see the height difference, which is great, because Wolverine's supposed to be shorter, and that's what they did here with this figure. So that was a nice little touch. Now, as for accessories, what you can see in front of you, Wolverine gets this relaxed pose hand, kind of like that grabby hand, or just overall, that's what we consider their relaxed hand when it comes to Mezco figures. But it's really nicely done, really nicely sculpted, looks really good. There you go, see it in the back. He also going to get 2 fist hands. I'll show that to you real quick. Go ahead and autofocus on it real fast. Think I got it. So, fist hand is really nicely sculpted as well. Real nice texture. And I like the fact that they put the holes where the blade's supposed to come out at. So even though the blades aren't there, they actually still look like it has depth where the nails come out at. So that's real nice how they did that. So you're going to get those. You're going to get his Manamusa blade along with grabby hands on left and right. So let me see if I can get a focus on there for y'all. There we go. So that's the grab hand. The grab hand is pretty solid. Hold on, let me move Wolverine out the way. The grab hand is definitely a solid hand. You don't got to worry about fighting with it, trying to put the blade in, and you don't got to worry about the blade falling out. The blade, it's a nice silver. Let me see if I can get to the focal point. There we go. Really nicely sculpted. The handle It's also like that gunmetal gray. Nice details there. Not really no highlights or darks, but it's just a basic gray. And you can see like the silver butt of the sword. You're going to get his sheath, which is pretty much the same tone as the handle. And you can see some gray rope or gray wrappings around the base of the sheath itself to kind of give a little bit of, you know, texture looking at it. It is a tighter fit because both hands will come tight gripped. So it took a little bit of work to get this in, but nothing obviously got damaged and no problem there, so that's cool. I will say be careful putting the sword into the sheath because it is an extremely tight fit on it. You definitely don't want to break the blade because the blade is kind of thin, and I can definitely see something going wrong if you don't do what you're supposed to do. So just be careful there, but fits in extremely well. And you don't got to worry about it falling out. So, really nicely done. You're going to get his claw hands. Show that to you real quick. And these are really nice. Really, really nice. Nice and clean. Now, sometimes they may come slightly crooked. You can probably fix it with heat. I just chose not to touch mine just because I've had a fair share of bullshit when it came down to Wolverine nails on other figures. So yeah, I was like, nah, I'm good. I just leave it alone. I don't need nothing breaking on me, so I'm just gonna leave it as is. And it's not as bad as some of the other people figure I've seen where the nails kind of just really just done, looks like shit. So mine isn't that bad, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. You're gonna get an extra head, which is really done well. The teeth grit is amazing. You can see the details, you can see the gums between the teeth, like they did really, really good. Facial expression is solid. So really happy with this. So overall, the way Wolverine looks is great. Now let's go ahead and jump into the articulation, and that's where Wolverine, in my opinion, kind of drops the ball, or Mezco dropped the ball rather. When it comes to posability on Wolverine, it's not great, and obviously it can be due to the suit in some aspects. Some stuff I feel like is not the suit. Some stuff I just feel like is the figure itself. So his head can go that far down, this far up, which is nice. You can do obviously the full 360 if you wanted to, dealing with his head turning left and right. You can tilt the head. When it comes down to the shoulders, you have hinges that will allow you to lift his shoulders up and down to give him a little bit more range when you're moving the arms out. The arms can do a full 360. Just be careful. You don't want to tear nothing or mess nothing up. The arms can come out due to the shoulder pads moving. So that is that. That's how far his arm come out. You get a swivel at the bicep itself, which is mine is kind of tough, but it can be done. You get the double hinge elbow, which is actually really, really nice. Nice amount of range. You get your hinge, and you can get rotation onto the wrist. Where you really kind of go bad at is when you get to the abdomen of the chest. So his ab crunch is utterly trash. Can't do shit. Can't lean forward not one bit, which that part definitely blows. He can lean backwards, which I guess for certain poses or whatever, berserker mode maybe you can put him into, that'll work, but I kind of prefer that he can go forward more so than backwards. It's fucking stupid. Anyway, you get that. You really can't do waist rotation too much just due to the suit itself, which is perfectly understanding. Going down to the legs, he kick about that far forward, which is nice. And it's funny because Wolverine legs are so short, because him being short, you get about that much of a bend, because the legs are also muscular. Really nice design though. I really like the way they actually did the body design. Really dope. You can get rotation at the shin, like so. And I can do a full 360 if need be. His foot don't have too much of nothing. Lean a little bit forward, lean about that far down, going out to the sides, like doing an ankle pivot. That is trash. Really ain't gonna get that off neither, so don't expect to. Leg going out, he go about that far out. Be careful of the crotch, because you don't want to split his pants, because that would be definitely shitty. So just be wary of that. When it come down to putting him in a pose or something that's really, really dynamic, I feel like in some aspects it can't be done just due to his ankle and due to his stomach. So you really can't get too much out of him when it come down to posing Wolverine here. You can get some parts that's nice, but mainly I'll say probably jumping poses, things of that nature will work out really good. But his leg going out too far, that works great until you get to the feet. Then it just becomes a big ass problem. But outside of all that, if you like Wolverine and you're a huge fan of X-Force, I'm telling you right now, you're going to love the figure. The figure is really, really nice. If you're big on the posing and you already own the other Wolverines and you really kind of on the fence about this figure, I wouldn't waste my fucking time with it, just to be honest with you. I bought this figure because I wanted a Wolverine figure, and this is the one I had.